year. We're on the 27th of Kislev. Naturally, we call that in Hebrew Chav Zayin Kislev. Marks a Hilula of a great Algerian rabbi. His name was Harav Raphael Yedidia Shlomo Tzrur. Zecher Tzadik Libracha. He was actually born in English year 1681 and passed away in English year 1738. He was approximately, at the time of passing, about 57 years of age. He became a great doctor, a Rofé, as they say in Hebrew. He'll be also a Rosh Yeshiva, head of, let's say, a Talmudic academy, a Posek Halacha, render various different Jewish halakhic Jewish laws in himself. He was the head of the Jewish court, the Abbet Din, and he was a rabbi of Algiers, a very prominent position. During the 1700s periods in of itself, till he passed away pretty much in the year 1738, and write great Torah books, including the Prit Tzadik, which is a Shut, Sheilot and Shuvabog, and the Haskala Klalit. Let's explore some of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, he was born in Algiers. This was back in the year 1681, towards the end of the 17th century, and he actually came from great rabbinic heritage in of itself. His father's name was Rav Yeshua, very, very great rabbi, and very, very interesting enough. Now, a lot can be said within regards to the great Chacham himself. He was, I think, close to Rabbi Avraham ibn Tawa, if I'm not mistaken. He was a great Dayan, a halakhic arbitrator, let's just say, a Rosh Yeshiva, and a poet in of itself. He was one of the great rabbis, let's just say, during the 16th century, and he very much identified, let's just say, with this great Chacham. He studied with the sages of his cities in of itself, and later he was appointed as head of the Jewish court in Algiers over there. Very interesting enough. And he would have great Talmudim, great students, including the famous student who we've actually mentioned about on various occasions before. His name was Rabbi Yehuda Ayash, another great rabbi who he himself happened to be a great judge, a Posek Halacha, and the Rosh Yeshiva of Algiers, respectively. So he would actually work under him for about a 15-year time period or something like that. It was reported over for a long time period. And he was also his, let's just say, colleague inside the Jewish court over there. And this was, I think, he was also Rabbi Yaakov Tzrur, very much was there at that point in time. Many, many great rabbis at that point in time. So Rabbi Yehuda Ayish was his student for many years and would actually work with him. And various other rabbis were in the court. Rabbi Yaakov Tzrur, Rabbi Avraham Yafil, and Rabbi Yehuda Ayash, and Rabbi Benjamin Duran. Really, really great rabbis in of itself. And which maybe we should speak about some of those great rabbis later on. Many people come to him, asking him various different questions on halakhic difficulties in of itself from all over different vicinities, including North Africa, let's just say, in of itself, from Tunisia, from various parts of Italy, from different parts of Algeria, from Morocco, Oran especially, even Gibraltar. Many people come to him and ask him high-level questions, and he corresponded in halakhic matters with many other great rabbanim, including the famous Rabbi Masoud al-Fasi, who was a famous Kabbalist, let's just say, a halakhic teacher, and I think was a head of a Jewish court in Tunis, respectively. He happened to be the author of great Torah books in of itself. I think his most famous book was Mashcha de Rabuta. So he was in contact with him. Then come what the year 1714, he was approximately at that stage in time 33 years of age. It was at that point in time, in 1714, the court was headed by, I think, Rabbi Sadia Azubir, who happened to be, I think, let's just say, the first judge, the main judge, the head at that point, and Rabbi Maimon Yafil, who happened to be in Algiers. There was a grappling questions and cases within regards to who maybe we should make a boycott on, which kind of rabbis. It was a turbulent time period where different ideas were being brought about, especially connected to various different sectors, let's just say, in Judaism of itself, and most notably within regards to the Shabbatai movement in of itself, which you could say was a messianic, Kabbalistic movement. So he was one of the signatories that warned against, let's just say, boycotted various different people that might have been associated with this movement. So he was really very important person within regards to making, let's just say, important decisions in that place within regards to the welfare, the Jewish spiritual welfare of that place in itself. Now, he actually was head of a yeshiva for much of his life. He would spend over there, very, very much so. Within regards to this yeshiva, the many great time with him he had, and was close to in of itself. And just see the greatness within regards to Rabbi. He was a natural doctor also in of itself. He was had various different important roles. Many people will use him, and for his greatness, his genius, for his wisdom in of itself. Now it's interesting. His students also testified that the Rabbi, unfortunately, actually did, let's say, suffer from various different, let's say, hardships in of itself, like financially, and it affected his family. This did. He also himself suffered from various different illnesses, according to some of his students. It's reported over, and within regards to fatigue, especially, and it could have been he fainted on a couple of occasions. It was, yeah. So that's these are just important facts and stuff. So he did suffer quite a lot, and it's reported over that his Talmid Rabbi Yehuda Ayash actually wrote a lament for him in Arabic after he passed away. Now it's interesting. He was a staunch advocate within regards to following Maran Rabbi Yosef Karo, within regards to all the different halachot that was written inside the code of Jewish law. He was a staunch advocate also for keeping them in Hagim from Algeria in of itself, which we have to point out. He was worried within regards to the spiritual welfare of his vicinity. He didn't want there to be drastic changes inside the community, especially within regards to Hagim, customs, and I think there was a book compiled, especially from his Talmid, Rabbi Yehuda Ayash, which will compile all these different customs within it together. He explained that, let's say, he was like an advocate strengthening that the Maran, the Shulchan Aruch, should be used by, let's say, the Western countries, follow his rulings within regards to all different halachic matters in himself. He believed that, so that's much more. Much more he can be said. Now, he wrote two great Torah colossal works, including Shut, Sheilot and Shuvot, questions and answers on the Pri Tzadik. This was questions and answers on the 4 sections of the Code of Jewish Law. And I think this is actually printed in Livorno at a late stage, I think in the Hebrew year. Hey Taf Kuf Chet. Then there was another great book called the Biur Arbat Chalkei Shulchan Aruch, which is explanations on, in short, let's just say in itself, on the Shulchan Aruch, once again, the Code of Jewish Law. I think this was, if I'm not mistaken, it was in manuscript form. It might have been lost, but I'm not too sure. If anyone knows any more information, please let me know. And he passed away in the year 1738 on 27th of Kislev. Naturally, there'll be the 3rd day of the festival of Hanukkah. He was buried in Algeria, respectively. Also, he was one of the great rabbis of Algeria, especially during the early 1700s in himself. He was a great Dayan, a great judge, a doctor. He was very worldly. He was very, very well connected in of itself. And it's actually interesting. His family came from great Rabbonim. And I think his grandfather's name was Solomon Tzrur. And he held a position, apparently his grandfather did, as a chief rabbi of Algiers, if I'm not mistaken. And it's actually interesting, just another added benefit. Rabbi Raphael Tzrur, he pursued not just Torah studies, he would learn a lot within regards to the secular sphere in of itself. Within regard, was a master within regards to logic, physics, geography, and as we said at the start of the video, he engaged himself, occupied himself within regards to poetry, and gained, let's just say, in of itself, a reputation as a skilled physician, and he was also a successful businessman. It was reported over. He was seen by many to be a very important figure within regards to different decisions, tough decisions on welfare or spiritually within regards to the community in Algeria in of itself. And that work that he wrote, I believe, the Pri Tzadik, was printed, I think, 11 years after he passed away in the year 1748, because he passed away naturally, I believe, in the year 1737. That was in of itself. And please don't forget to light candles in his memory. 27th of Kislev will mark the great rabbis Hilula. We're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. Please subscribe to the channel. If you feel anyone is interested in listening or watching any of these videos, please forward them the video. So wishing you well from Israel. I'm recording this time of the first day of Hanukkah. So wishing you all a Hanukkah Sameach and be well.